Welcome to Living Chassidus. Together, let's live the Chassidus we learn. Yay. Okay, welcome everybody. Baruch Hashem. Okay, I want to start off by giving a huge shout out to my incredible husband. I don't know if you've noticed, but I am a little hands-free today. He managed to get Chayeta to sleep. So I thought I was going to have to teach the class like this.
Yeah. When you said it, I was like, oh, right. Where's your baby?
Yeah. One second. Is this in the right? Is this good?
It's not recording right now, right?
It is. Baruch Hashem. Hi. Hi, world.
Okay.
Okay. So, I want to give a little background. Baruch Hashem, we have, oh, thank you. I forgot my water. Baruch Amen. Okay, so we took a discussion. We had a discussion at the beginning of the year, and one of the topics people wanted to hear about was davening. And I feel very connected to davening. It hasn't always been so easy, and that's part of the farbrengen I'm going to share. But it is a huge, huge life-changing activity for me. I don't even know if you could call it an activity, but something I do on the daily. And because it's such a meaningful topic, I actually have taught courses in the past. But tonight, I think I'm going to just try and compile all the good stuff and give you the best of what I know and what inspires me and what changes my life. So we'll start with that. Because this topic is so near and dear to me, I made a special effort to include some of my very dear loved friends in tonight's class. So tonight is taught L'ilui Nishmas for hold on. I tried to gather all the names together. Give me 1 second. I don't need my own introduction, so I'm going to skip that. I am who I am. Okay, so tonight's L'ilui Nishmas for Amaliya Bas Emes, Amaliya Bat Emet. Her Yahrzeit was on Beis Iyar, and I have a beautiful story about her that she actually, I'm good friends with her daughter, and some of us know her actually, and her mother passed away suddenly on Shabbos. And her daughter always took it as a sign because her mother was always so joyous and so simchadik, and she would never have wanted anybody to be sad on her behalf. That Shabbos was like the day, because on Shabbos we're not meant to be sad. So may we all take our tefillos and may we connect to our inner simcha. L'ilui Nishmas for Amaliya Bat Emet. We also have an amazing friend of mine who just lost her grandmother. So we're doing this class for L'ilui Nishmas for Bracha Bas Shmuel Yaakov. And a great story about her is that at one point she was on a trip with her granddaughter, if I remember correctly. And this was a grandmother, so she was young in a different way, if we know what you mean. Yeah. It was like through a rocky path, and she suddenly tripped and fell, and she was bleeding, and it looked scary. And somebody saw her and said, "Get help, get help, help the old lady, help the old lady." And suddenly everyone starts running over to try and help her, and she keeps shooing them away, no, I don't need anything. Go help the old lady, help the old lady. And her granddaughter said to her, "Grandma, I'm pretty sure they're talking about you. You're the old lady that needs the help." So may we always see ourselves as young and energetic and connected to Hashem in the deepest way, begashmias and baruchnias. We also have a dear friend of mine who lost her father right before Pesach, and actually today was the Shloshim. So I want to do tonight's class, L'ilui Nishmas, for Shimon Ben Avraham. And a great story about him is that him and his family lived in Minnesota, where it gets very, very cold. And davening is the most important and special thing in his life. And he would always go to shul, and he would always take his kids to shul. And at one point, they lived in the area where they lived. There was a church, and I love you commentary. There was a church, and at one point, their neighbor who attended that church came and said to him, "Hey, by the way, the priest gave a sermon, and he talked about you." And he was like, "What? Me?" And he basically said, the priest comes and says to his entire congregation, the attendance in the congregation is dropping and is very low, and it's shocking. And you guys, you get to even drive. But the guy across the street, every Saturday, he's not allowed to drive. He's not allowed to use his phone. He's not allowed to do anything. And you see him rain, snow, sleet, below 0 degrees. And he's always walking to his synagogue. So you guys need to step up your davening. And so that was it's a very sweet story. And the daughter mentioned to me that it was so special and so important for him. It was actually the last act he went to shul, last act that he did before passing, and he was davening. So it's a very, very important mitzvah, and he transmitted that to his children. Tonight is also L'ilui Nishmas for Rafael Yehoshua ben Yaakov Tzvi, who is the brother of a really, really good friend of mine, and from what I remember of him, and I didn't know him that well, I just met him at, the Chaim or the wedding or whatever, but he always had a smile and a joke, and always had good humor about him, and brought simcha to his family. So we should all connect to that, and he should have a aliyas haneshama, and we should all of our learning and all of our davening that is affected by this class should bring aliyas haneshama to all of these incredible people.
Hello, everybody. Baruch Hashem, davening is one of my favorite topics, and I'm so glad I was able to do this shir. I wanted to share and make it very clear that the shir was L'ilui Nishmas for our dear friend's mother, Amaliya Bas Emet. Her Yahrzeit was on Beis Iyar. And it is also L'ilui Nishmas, my dear friend Dini Greenberg's father, Yehuda Leib ben Chaim Baruch alav hashalom. It is also L'ilui Nishmas for my dear friend Anna's grandmother. Her name is Bracha bas Shmuel Yaakov. It is also L'ilui Nishmas for my other dear friend's brother, Rafael Yehoshua ben Yaakov Tzvi alav hashalom. And it is also L'ilui Nishmas for my really dear friend's father, Ruthie Sperlin, Shimon Ben Avraham. So this class and this learning and all the impact that it has on all of your learning and all of your davening should bring aliyas and neshama to all of these wonderful people, and may we be reunited with every single one of them with Moshiach right now. Thank you.
Okay, so tonight our topic is davening for Hashem Glasses. So, as we know, can I have the stickers? Here we go. As we know, at Living Chassidus, our logo is Hashem Glasses, and it says Hashem Echad. And the concept is that when we learn Chassidus, and now we're going to discuss how when we daven, we learn to see the world from Hashem's perspective. And through that, we're able to connect. The echad going downwards is the concept of dir b'tachteinim. And so we're able to do our mission here down below. It's not about connecting to the chassidus and floating up into Atzilus, and we hang around in the highest realms with all the malachim, which is also nice. But we need to remember that there's a tachlis here. Exactly, come back down to earth. We need to do our tafkid, our part. So the question really starts is, if the whole point of living chassidus is Hashem Glasses. So why is this the goal? Why do we even want to do things towards putting on our Hashem Glasses? Do you guys have any thoughts?
What's the goal?
Why? Well, I guess let me switch it. Why would we want to put on Hashem Glasses? What's the purpose of that?
So we can emulate him.
Okay, so we can emulate him.
Life is boring without ones.
Life is boring without them. Okay.
It's like by rote. Like if God's out of the picture, what's the purpose? So God, Hashem.
If God's out of the pictures, what's the purpose? Okay. You had something to say? The question is, why do we want to live with Hashem Glasses? Why would we want to do that?
Because then we don't have to be in a bad world.
Because then we don't have to be in a bad world. Okay. Like Gullus is not so good. So then, okay, that's very nice. Anybody else? Any other thoughts?
It's like real glass. These glasses and you don't have them, I'm helpless.
So
Yes.
Be on the right path.
And yes, if you don't have glasses, but you need glasses, then
But
it's
you
helpless.
can't see or you're bringing the wrong prescription to involve.
Yes.
So it helps give us clarity in life.
Okay. Beautiful.
So like it's not just like emulating Hashem and being like Hashem. It's also like having Hashem Glasses gives us direction where we need to go, and then we can go and do it. If we have direction but we don't know where we're going, it's kind of hard. You're just circling.
That's true. Okay. So Hashem Glasses gives us direction of where to go
Clarity.
and clarity. Beautiful. Okay. So you guys hit them all out of the ballpark. Beautiful job. You all touched on them, so I'm just going to summarize and continue, build off of it. But yeah, in essence, it's that level of clarity. It's the level of the darkness of the world of Gullus and how this gives us purpose and it gives us a path to move forward. And also, that's for like the greater perspective. And also, in a certain sense, kind of selfishly, have you ever noticed the difference of how you feel? Let's say one morning when you wake up and the first thing you do is grab your phone and open up, whether it's WhatsApp messages, emails, your bills, your bank account, the news website, right? How does the rest of the day kind of feel? Versus, just as an extreme example, a random Shabbos morning where you don't do that and you wake up in the morning, roll out of bed, probably say brachas, eat some breakfast, and do something a little more holy than that. Have you noticed the difference in like your mood and your energy, right? It's like it's a whole different world. So living with Hashem Glasses is kind of having that Shabbos dika boost every single morning. It's starting off your day with that alignment, that reconnection. I haven't finished the sikha, but just a little plug-in for L'ilui Nishmas project, that one of the sikhas for this week, which is actually taught in the shir that they have on Spotify called the weekly chassidus, I think. If anybody needs it, it's amazing. It's a 30. This woman is from Shapiro from California. She teaches 30-minute sikhas, and it's so practical and so good, and she gets right to the point and brings about it totally living chassidus like style. But anyway, so the sikha that is for this week, Parshas Emor, is about this concept of bringing Shabbos and Yom Tov into every part of your day. So just a little touch point there. But when we learn chassidus or when we daven, and it's a davening, and I'm going to explain what I mean by davening. I know in schools, what they teach is basically a kriya and singing class. So we either do kriya because we're reading a bunch of words, or we're singing because we're singing Baruch Amar and Ashrei, and it's either kriya or singing. That's generally in school, right? Yeah. But one of the things that I love about our dear Shalom coming to help set up for all the shirim lately is that when we walk home, he tells me what he learned. And one of the classes, he said to me, wow, I didn't realize morning brachas had so much to them. It was so, right? Yeah. So the goal here is to not make davening just the words. Davening is, the act of davening is saying words, but saying words is not davening. Okay?
Yeah. That's good.
The act of davening is saying words, but saying those words is not davening. It's a whole different experience. It's a good thing.
Everyone blinked out on the video.
Exactly. So, when we do davening right, we feel lighter. We feel like that concept of the mashal, of the question that is asked when this person comes and notices. You good? It's a little heavy. A person comes and notices and says, I'm walking in the sand, dear Hashem, and when I look down, I only see one pair of footprints. And I feel, Hashem, that you're not with me. I feel like I'm all alone. I feel like this one set of footprints is just me alone in the world, tackling the world. And it is so terrifying and so heavy and so scary and so challenging. But then Hashem turns back and says, that one pair of footprints is my pair because I'm holding you on my shoulders. And davening gives you that boost. It gives you that reminder that Hashem has you and he's holding you in a little cocoon and he's taking care of you. Yes, it feels like we're dangling and like we're in the midst of like, sometimes for some of us, it feels like we're like off a cliff and like flailing around trying to like grapple with what's going on in the world or our lives. But at the end, the reminder is that Hashem is the one holding us. Hashem is the one having us there. So what's the purpose of davening? Purpose of davening is not just to say words, it's to connect to Hashem and to feel that embrace, to feel that Shabbos light, that like morning, Shabbos morning delight of like, oh, no problems, no bills, no WhatsApps, no missed opportunities, no big troublesome things. Shabbos, I just am. I just live. And when we start our day off that way, when we start our day with a real boost of Hashem glasses, then the rest of the day, you still are going to have the meetings and the commute and the arguments and the dramas and whatever needs to happen, but it's just going to feel like Hashem is there with you. Hashem has you covered. So, okay. There's a concept that I want to remind people about in regards to the concept of connecting to Hashem and putting ourselves in the right mindset before we start to daven. So how do we do that? How do we connect to Hashem? Generally, as Chvar Chassidim, the concept is to learn some Chassidus. So now you're going to come and tell me, most of my mornings are spent somewhere between scrambling to get up, get dressed, take a, whether it's a shower or brush our teeth or have breakfast or have barely manage a coffee and then run out the door because we need to do this job or get to the subway or take care of our kids or whatever. So how exactly do you expect me to grab a mimer or a sikha and then learn that and then do a proper davening and steig away and go backwards and forwards and really connect because it's so holy? Yeah, okay, Michal, that sounds nice. Change the channel, switch the Spotify, turn something else on because Michal's talking out of, thin air. But I will say that when it comes to the weekday, it's quality, not quantity. And when it comes to Shabbos, it's building on the quality so that you can have building on the quantity so you can have quality for the weekday. Let me explain what that means, okay? Imagine you grab a small, meaningful piece of chassidus. Oh, I should have brought it. But okay, I'll give this as an example. This is a beautiful book, literally beautiful in sight, but also beautiful in content. It's all about tefillah and davening, and it's fairly short in the long run. And the way that I learned it was that on Shabbos, I would take and I would learn maybe a chapter, a couple of pages. Sometimes it's even split up by sections. So you see there's like sections in it. So I would just learn one section and say, how can I internalize this? You know, sometimes we read something, we're like, blah, 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 and then we finish, we're like, if somebody asked me what I just read, I have no clue. No clue, right? Or sometimes we read something, we're like, okay, if somebody were to ask me, I'd be able to explain. So what I like to do is on Shabbos, the illuminated sound, the Baal Shem Tov on prayer. Beautiful, amazing book. There's a lot of great davening books. I just couldn't carry everything, so I just picked the lightest one. There's so many, Baruch Hashem. So if you know, sorry, parenting moment. On a paper, you can have a paper. Take a napkin. Anyway, so if on what I like to do on Shabbos is Shabbos morning I learn something, and then when it comes to the meal, I like to share something I learned. And through that, not only that, I mean, it makes me learn it in a way that I actually internalize it, but also it shows my family that I'm learning and that it's something that's alive in me and that it's exciting because I show my excitement. Everyone can have salad. It's gorgeous. Please enjoy. Okay, so I do that, and then I try, even if it's just a hayemim, even if that day the baby was crying and she spat up all over me, and it just happened, and I'm like, I cannot manage to learn that much, but like I learned hayemim, so I share the hayemim by the table. I try to share something by the table so that I have something that I'm carrying with me. And as we say that what we prepare for Shabbos creates Shabbos, but what we do on Shabbos creates the rest of the week. It's in the wedding mimer, if I remember correctly, that it talks about this whole Shabbos to the week. Yes, Mishpia Makabel. So Lechadei, the wedding mimer. So it talks about this. But anyway, so when whatever we boost ourselves on Shabbos, then there we can get the energy for the rest of the week. So try, just a suggestion, if on Shabbos you're able to read one thing, even one thing, but if you read it in a way of, I want to be able to share this with someone else. And this is a trick question, because at the end of the day, you may not actually share with anybody else. But the fact that you're able to share it with someone else, it means that you have it practicalized from Chachma Bina and hopefully to Das. Okay? So, that's my first thought on learning something, of having some piece of Chassidus, that on Monday when it's crazy hectic, and on a Tuesday when you're running late, and you just take a moment and you say, literally one moment, what did I learn on Shabbos? Okay, I remember that. Beautiful inspiration. I can stand before Hashem with a little bit more of kavanah. You might still rattle off the words in davening. Fine. We all have been there, have done that. It's normal. But at least you made an effort, some sort of effort, to carry something along with you that puts you in the right mindset. If listening to a shir while you get dressed, or not dressed, while you get your breakfast ready and you're walking around, sometimes I do that. I'm holding a baby, I'm getting breakfast ready, I'm getting the kids out of the house, whatever. Then there's a shir playing, then I'm able to have something, even if I missed, as I said, the sikha that I didn't even finish it. But at least I learned something. I was like, okay, there's a concept about Emor and Shabbos and Yom Tov, and I have something. So that's one. Number two, davening carries a lot of guilt for a lot of people. I know for myself, especially when I was in seminary, I was like, this is the year. I'm like in a mountain with no distractions. Let me daven by avodah and say each word and learn all the words and and then you know what happened? I'd spend 50 million hours saying 3 words because I was trying so hard, and then the bell rings because I need to go back to class, and I'm in a rush and I end up or butchering it, and there's so many Yetzer Haras when it comes to davening for a lot of people. I don't have a minute. I've lived life when I don't have a minute for davening. It's a reality. It really is. There's everybody has different life stages, and sometimes there's a stage in life where you literally don't have a minute. If that is your situation, number one, I forgot to bring. Number one, look back at the recordings from the L'ilui Nishmas classes and listen to Rabbi Azdaba's class. He was incredible, and he gave very good ideas of how to do that. What are the most important things? Shema and Shemona Esrei, for example. That if you only say Shema and Shemona Esrei, you've done your davening for the day. Now there's a second Yetzer Hara that comes around. And it says, what do you mean? I used to say Baruch She'amar, and Ashrei is so beautiful, and what the Hallelujahs? How could I skip the Hallelujahs? And Yishtabach, and then because we want to do everything, we end up doing
Nothing.
So I want to just remind everybody that come in. Well, last time we did that, it was like someone collecting tzedakah. So.
Oh gosh.
Whoops. Hello. Yay, welcome. So I just want to remind everybody that the Yetzer Hara that is dressed in nice Chassidish garb, and it tells you that unless you do it perfect, then you shouldn't do it at all, is just what I called it. A plain and simple Yetzer Hara dressed in Chassidish garb. You would rather start, and this was my personal, I'm being raw and honest here, okay? When I struggled with that Yetzer Hara, my solution was, for the next week, I'm not even going to try to say anything else. I'm only going to daven Shema and Shemona Esrei, and if I finish a whole week, then I can add something else. And it was the most magical experience. I said Shema, I said Shemona Esrei, I felt amazing, a little guilty kind of guilty the first day, but I did it. At least I davened today. My baby was screaming and I was full of spit up and I was covered in whatever breakfast that whoever spilled on me, but I davened today and it was incredible. The next day, I did it again. I felt less guilty and more accomplished. The next day, I did it again. I felt even more accomplished and a lot less guilty. And the more I connected and I was doing my part in davening, even if that was all I could do at that time, I had this yearning to add more, but it came from a healthy place. It didn't come from I'm trying to be a perfectionist, so I want to daven every single thing, but then at the end, because I'm a perfectionist, I daven nothing. So slowly but surely, I said, I have now accomplished the fact that I've done an entire week of that just Shema and Shemona Esrei. Just Shema and Shemona Esrei. Now I can add one more piece. So then I grabbed the whatever that book, the Siddur with the little colorful segments. I can't believe I left it. Every single speaker who's done this course has talked about the Siddur, but none of them have had it. Yes, the women's Siddur.
Yeah.
Yes, the women's Siddur is amazing.
Thank you.
So then you can go, okay, I have officially done one full week of this level. I can graduate to the next level. Let me see if I can do that, right? And davening, as our last speaker, I think it was Miriam Goldberg, as she said about it, it's not an all or nothing, and it's not black or white. It's gradients of gray. The amount that you can do today and the amount that you can do tomorrow, and sometimes you could do a lot today, and tomorrow you can only manage one or two things, but that's okay. At least make the effort and daven. Just Shema and Shemona Esrei. Just the line, Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu. The next line, Baruch Shem Kavod, Shemona Esrei. Even if just that. Do that for 1 week. See if you can accomplish that. Okay? So that's on the practical side. Don't let the Yetzer Hara of perfection cause you to do nothing. Okay. Hold on, let me What?
I said, well said.
Yes.
But what if somebody is davening?
Mm-hmm.
What if somebody is davening the whole thing, but like you're still like not feeling inspired? Do you think they should still go back to that?
Okay, so that's a really perfect. You segued into my next point. I just didn't know how to connect it, but you just did a great job. Thank you. So if someone is davening the full thing, but they're still not feeling connected, here are my thoughts on the matter. As we said about learning Chassidus, it's not, especially during the week, it's not about quantity, it's about quality. So if someone is davening and they can focus. What I did, I'll give you an example. So this Siddur is called, it's Tilas Hashem, but it's with linear English translation. Okay? So one year, I realized that I was doing like this for davening. This is my regular Siddur. I daven. I was doing like this. Right? I'm sure no one knows the feeling. No one can relate. So I realized I need to A, put the eyes in here, and B, why am I not putting my eyes in there is because A, I know all the words by now and I know how to say them easily, but also because I haven't connected to them. Whether because I don't know the meaning, sometimes, for example, in Halukah, some of the words are not regular conversational, like very common Hebrew, but also because even if I know the meaning, I don't really know what it means to me. Like, what does this have anything to do with me? So I made it a point that for the most part, I would daven from this Siddur, or whatever, I'll explain. I would daven from my personal Siddur, and then I would choose for 1 week, I would only do one tefillah from this Siddur. So let's say we start with hold on, it's over here. I think I started with Baruch Shamar. Yeah, okay. So I would open up to Baruch Shamar, and for the entire week, when I reached Baruch Shamar, I would come to the Siddur, and I would say, even if not out loud, but I would read, "Blessed is he who spoke, Baruch Shamar." Oh, interesting. Okay, he spoke, and he should be blessed. And the world came into being, V'haya Olam. So Hashem spoke, the world came into being. Baruch Hu, blessed is he. Which is kind of cool, by the way. Like, we're taking a moment to realize that this world I'm part of, that I'm about to enter, whether it's a business, whether it's my personal struggles, whether it's shidduchim, that same world, my boss, the late boss, Hashem spoke and he created it. Interesting. Okay, just literally 1 second. Interesting. Blessed is he who says and does. If only everything I say I would do. I actually switched something with my parenting. Now Shalom's going to hold me accountable at home. Instead of telling my kids, one sec, I'm coming in a sec, I'm like, that's a lie. That's not true. So now I say, I'm 1 minute, I'm coming in a minute. That's more true. Right? Everything that Hashem says, he actually does. Imagine if we would learn that lesson. Imagine if everything we said we would actually do. Wouldn't that be powerful?
Sometimes it's not in our power to do what we say.
That's also true.
Very true.
That's also true. But at least we try, right? It's the fact of the attempt. Okay. Blessed is he who decrees and fulfills. And then I would say the Hebrew. Baruch Gezer Makayim, right? So he decrees and he fulfills. So whatever Hashem says he's going to promise, for example, the concept of Moshiach, or for example, what the betachan thing that I'm putting my betachan on, that Hashem is like, please Hashem, help me out with this thing. When Hashem puts his mind to it, he's going to fulfill it. The brachas that he has waiting for us, he's going to give them to us. Maybe it's not right this very second, but he is going to give us brachas. And then throughout the entire thing, I just take one tefillah, and the whole week, all I focus is on that one tefillah. Then I go back to, but now when I'm bumbling my words, at least I'm thinking, wow, everything Hashem does, everything Hashem says, he actually fulfills. That's pretty cool. I'm already like halfway through Ishtabach, but I'm like, whoa, that's amazing, right? So taking a moment, just one moment, where let's say I'm going to just focus on one tefillah, and actually not just like, blessed, O Lord, King of the universe, but I'm like, no, 1 second. He's the King of the universe? Like, he actually cares about that blade of grass growing somewhere in China. Isn't that insane? And when I think about it that way, then I realize like, okay, so the person who's bothering me, or my coworker that's having issues, or my shidduchim, or my shalom bayis problems, like if he can care about the blade of grass over yonder, then he definitely cares about my problems right here, right now. And he's there with me. You get what I'm saying? So just one tefillah that you actually take seriously, and you take a moment and you break it down and you say, okay, I'm going to focus on 3 words. Even if you can't do the whole tefillah. There's a reason why I chose one tefillah for the whole week. Because not necessarily I had the sitzfleisch, like I was like, oh, hopty-dopty, like I need to go, my boss is waiting for me, like whatever. Or I just don't have the like calm and peace of mind. So at least I should spend 1 week that this week, okay, so today I'm going to learn 3 lines. Tomorrow I'm going to learn 3 lines. And again, it's not about translating. A lot of these words we can translate. If I come and I sit and I tell you, Ashrei Yoshve Veisecha, like, most people, you can figure out the words. It's not about the words. It's about thinking, wow, I am literally in Hashem's home. Like this is Hashem's home. I'm doing this thing. How lucky I am. Like how incredible is it that we live with the mindset of this is Hashem's home. You should know. Where did we just discuss this? There's a funny trend going around that when a toddler is throwing a temper tantrum, you just start saying, do you know what it is? Jessica, right? The Jessica thing. And then suddenly toddlers are like, what? And they start looking around like all confused. And apparently it's this like magical thing, and like everybody's talking about how screaming out Jessica at a screaming toddler suddenly stops the tantrum, right? So a friend of mine was commenting how her kid doesn't even realize that Jessica's a name. like what is that? It just goes to show we live in a world, which for better or for worse, we live in a world where it's like holy and pure, and like this boy only knows Menachem Mendel's and Chaim Mushkas. You know what I mean? But like there's a world out there where not that it's related this specifically to the whole Jessica thing, but like the concept that like there's a world out there where there's literally a mindset that we're just going down a deeper downward path or whatever, spiral, and it's just getting worse, and the world's going to come to an end, and there's no hope. And yes. I'm like, that's funny. So,
where are we going?
That there's a concept that this world isn't Hashem's home. There's a concept out there that the world is terrible, that we're doomed. Exactly.
That the world is just gonna go into a black hole and just go.
Correct.
Yeah.
And some people live with that on a day-to-day basis. And meanwhile, if we take a moment to appreciate Ashrei Yeshve Veisecha, like we are in Hashem's home. This is how cool. Like just take a moment. Again, it's not about quantity, it's about quality. Take one line and just pause. What does this actually mean? And how do I feel about it? You see, we're all Chabad. This whole concept, it's beautiful. Chabad is beautiful. And in our modern day times, a lot of people think Chabad is like the nice Rebbe and Rebbitzin that go to random Yehuda, and like every single corner that there's Coca-Cola, there has to be a Chabad house. Like that's like Chabad makes preschools and Chabad makes C-team programs, and that's what Chabad is. But we need to remind ourselves, what's the core essence of Chabad? Chachma, Bina, and Das. It means don't mumble the words, or yes, mumble the words, but take one set of words. You're going to stop and say, what does this actually mean? Think about it. And what's Das? That moment of that awe. I'll give you another example. Insane. This one always like takes my breath away. While I find it, just a cool tidbit, by the way, the beauty of this siddur is that it also has space on the margins. So if you ever have a thought, you can write notes on it. It's very helpful. Just saying. Okay, I'm getting there. So much easier to see it in the Hebrew. 1 second. Oh, okay. So it is the third one. It's the second Hallelujah. Okay, in the regular Siddur, this is what it looks like. Okay, so we finished Ashrei, right? Finished Ashrei. This Hallelujah is one of my favorites for other reasons, but now the second Hallelujah, okay? So I'm going to give you just one tiny little tidbit. Hallelujah Kitayv Zama Elokeinu Kinaim Navat Sehila Boini Yerushalayim Hashem Nidche Yisrael Yichanes. Okay. First of all, he will gather the dispersed of Israel. That line hit me every single time while we had hostages. Because Hashem, you're going to gather all the dispersed, everybody who's missing, and you're going to bring them home. So just one point. Now, Haroife Lishvair Leib. That line, if you're ever going through a rut and you feel truly brokenhearted and you feel like, ugh, I am not ready for this day, I'm feeling yuck, I'm feeling down, take a moment and breathe that in. Hashem literally heals the brokenhearted. He binds up their wounds. He holds you close, he gives you a tight loving hug, and he carries you through. Another one. My name is Par Lekechavim. Okay, he counts the number of stars. Lechulam Shemes Ikra. So that's a beautiful balance. One of my favorite parts about this line. Now, how many stars are there? We can't count. Correct. We can't count. There's so many. And not only that, but Bnei Yisrael is connected to stars. Right? That was a promise to Avram Avinu. It shall be as numerous as the stars. So all of us together as a group, we are the stars. But what's the next line? He gives a name to each of them. He literally, what do you give names to? Children. Animals. What's the thread? Do you give a name? This salad. Have we named every single?
Things that are alive.
Unique.
Things that you love.
Things that you love.
You don't love this. I mean, you like the salad, but you don't love this.
Correct. Some people give names, for example, kids, they name their stuffed animals. Once you see a kid naming a stuffed animal, you know that stuffed animal is meaningful to them. Right?
True, yeah.
So Hashem has so many of us. There's millions. And yet every single one of us is near and dear to him. He names every single one of us, which is a real concept. When we get called a name, it's because it's the name of our neshama. It's not a trivial thing that our parents just let's pick something out of the hat. And even if they did, the hashgacha pratis was that that's the name of your neshama. But it's special, right? And now the next one. Okay. Okay? Not to those who place their trust in the strength of the horse does he desire, nor those who rely upon the thighs of a man does he want. Okay, what does that even mean? What's back in the day when people were on their horse to a battle, right? Let's say, or on their horse traveling for business, or on their horse traveling somewhere. They were trusting that this animal is going to get them from point A to point B. Right? What's an example now of such a thing?
Cars.
A car, our subways, money, our name.
Scooters. Electric scooters.
Electric scooters. Be careful, everybody. What? College. Exactly. A bike, yes, but I mean it in the greater.
Why is
Our
college
job.
Shop?
If some people think that if I don't go to college, I'm not going to get to be a successful business person or right. So we rely on something to get us from point A to point B. A shidduch, the shadchan. Not that we're calling shadchanim horses, but that's not what I meant. But I'm saying point A to point B, right? So we're relying on the shadchan. We're relying on the mashpia. We're relying on the. That's not what Hashem wants. Then the next approach could be, oh, 1 second. If I can't rely on anybody else, which is a very common coping mechanism, if anybody knows, once you get hurt and somebody hurts your feelings, you go, I don't need you. Whether you say it to them or you say it in your heart, we go, I don't need you. Am I right or am I wrong? Right? So then what do we rely on? On our own thigh. A thigh is it's the same mechanism. It's still going to get us from point A to point B, right? One leg, the other leg. What's the joke? Yehuda? Yes. I knew Yehuda would get it. How do we get somewhere? 11, right? 2 feet. Okay, so when you're in Crown Heights, and sometimes you have to take bus 11, right?
Yehuda takes bus 11 a lot.
Yehuda takes bus 11 quite often.
Yes. That's how I got here.
That's how you got here, exactly, right? So when we think, okay, I can't trust anybody else, I'm going to put all my eggs on me. I'm going to invest in everything I need in order for me to get myself from point A to point B, right? I'm going to do everything I can so that I'm the most educated, the most capable, the most independent, the most da-da-da. And don't get me wrong. Being those things and learning those things and getting educated and being independent is a wonderful thing. But not if we're missing the point. If we're using it as a tool to put our trust on it from point A to point B, then we're missing who's the real one who's going to get us from point A to point B?
Hashem.
Okay? So let's repeat this one more time. Not those who place their trust in the strength of the horse does he desire, nor those who rely upon the thighs of man does he want. Hashem desires those who fear him, those who long for his kindness. Turn to Hashem. So before, as we started the example at the beginning of our shir, we come and we say, I'm going to wake up in the morning, open up WhatsApp. Oh, what hits? The problems, the shadchan, the people asking for money, the people everybody's complaints, the dramas. Then you open up, oh my gosh, that was so heavy. Let me just get a little break from that. Let me open up my email. The bills and the bank accounts and the application for your son's this and your daughter's that, and the shadchan sent you a response about blah blah blah, right? Oh my gosh. So between WhatsApp and email, and then you're you need a break, so then you open a YouTube because who else takes a break any other way? But right, and then you're you get lost in the craziness of the world, and then you end up learning how to talk to giraffes in Africa. 3 hours later, you're stressed out, wasted your time, and feeling like garbage.
That is so.
And you're still in pajamas, David.
You're still in pajamas.
That is so base. It's scary. Oh God.
I mean, talking from experience. Say it all by myself.
No one can relate. I am absolutely sure, right? No one can relate. No clue, okay? So that's one way of starting the day. Now, let's say we start the day down this path. Before we see the problems, before we reach and we face gullus of the world, we say, 1 second, dear Klipa machine, I'm going to put you over yonder. I'm going to first put on my Hashem glasses. I'm going to take my phone, put it in a closet, put it in the drawer, leave it in a different room, and I'm going to say, Hashem, who do I trust? Do I trust my thigh? Do I trust the horse? Hashem, I trust you. Hashem, you created my landlord who's driving me bonkers about paying rent. Right? You created him or her. You run this world. You know what else you created, Hashem? You created my bank account and my boss and my paycheck. And that same Hashem who created the landlord and created my bank account can make this shidduch. You can figure this one out. You can make them, the ends meet, as they say, right? So this end and that end should meet. Yes, I have to do my hishtadlus, but I see it as my hishtadlus. I do my part. It's not based on my shoulders. It's not on my thighs. It's not on my horse. Right? And not only that, but I'm just giving examples of just what we spoke about today. Ashrei Yeshev Veisecha. Hashem, this is your garden. This is your home. I am so lucky to be a part of it. Baruch Shamar V'Haya Eimer. Hashem, you literally could speak any existence into reality. Hashem, I beg you today, bring my existence as I want it. Please don't give me troubles. L'ilui Nisayan v'Loi Nisayan, right? Which we're going to learn about at the Aleph Beis Gimel house with Rabbi Shalom Bashkin. Shout out to everyone who signed up already. Tonight is the end of early bird special. If you'd like to sign out, do it now.
I guess we won't get the worm.
What? What? Yay! Shout out. Okay. Early bird is the one. Okay. So once it took me a second, like, what are you guys talking about?
I guess I don't get the worm.
Yes.
So now we can continue.
Yeah. Yes.
What?
Yes. Yes, I was confused. Okay. So anyway, back to the point. If you have one line that you could focus on, you have one specific part of davening, even if the rest of it you mumble and you jumble, you have one part that you carry with you, that you stop and you say, I cannot read any words further until I take one moment to think about this. How does this apply to my life? How can I live my day in a brighter way? How can I live my day from a place of geula, from a place of comfort, from a place of emunah and betachin in Hashem? And I can guarantee bli neder. Wait. Say hi, everybody. 1, 2, 3. Yay. Good night. And if we take that one sentence and that one pasuk, that one line, even that one word sometimes. Another good one. Kadesh, 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 right? We say this in Tefillah. It's right before Shema. There's a concept that those are the malachim, and they are so excited by those words, and they're so, because they actually get to see Hashem in a real way, that they're so, that they literally expire and go up into the higher level, and they just become one with Hashem, right? So Chassidus explains to us that these malachim, it's actually the source of our nefesh habahamis. Our nefesh habahamis comes from these animals, so to speak. And if these animals, which is the source of our nefesh habahamis, can be so excited and so thrilled about Hashem, then imagine if our nefesh habahamis were so thrilled about Hashem. What if today, instead of being enthralled with the chocolate in front of me, I would be enthralled with the sikha in front of me?
What if you're enthralled with both?
That's also good. It's a good start.
Or you're enthralled with the chocolate to make you enjoy the sikha better.
Also very good.
Okay.
Yes, very good. It's beautiful.
So there's nothing inherently wrong with the chocolate.
There's nothing inherently wrong with the chocolate. It's klipas neiga, as long as you use it for the good stuff.
Okay, perfect.
Keep up the good work.
Hashem focused.
There you go. Hashem focused. So
How did we get to that point?
that the malachim that say Kadosh Kadosh Hashem Tzvakos, right before Shema, right? They are so inspired and so moved and in awe of Hashem's existence when they say those words, which that's a whole other thing. Give me 1 second. My brain is they are so inspired that they actually expire into the next level. They lose their marbles in a good way towards Hashem and their love for Him, and that's actually the source of our nefesh habahamis. Those animals, chayis kaidish, they're actually the source of our nefesh habahamis. Our nefesh habahamis, in essence, comes from them, and so if they can feel that level of inspiration because they have a revelation of Hashem, if only we get our nefesh habahamis to feel that revelation with Hashem, it can also have that amazing awe and desire to connect to Hashem.
How do you get it to feel that?
Chachma bin and das. You take a moment to think about it. And for example, before you make a bracha mazenis on this beautiful chocolate, whatever this is, you say, wow, this is giving me chayas to stay awake during the shir. This is giving me chayas to, now I have a connection. Every time I learn this, I eat this thing, it reminds me of my nefesh ma'amis should have a love and a passion for Hashem. Like there's a bunch of, you know what I mean? You could take it in different ways, but also a very cool part about that is that these malachim actually wait for us. They're not allowed to say these words until we say them in davening, which is wild, because they are so much more connected and so much more holy and so much whatever. They're not down here dealing with all kinds of yetzaharas, but they're waiting for us, and that's how important and special we are.
So just
Powerful.
to be clear, you're saying that our nefesh hamas comes from malachim?
The source of our nefesh mamis,
Source.
yes, these particular malachim.
Oh, those particular. Okay.
Yeah.
Got
Anyway, so my point is, for starters, this is an amazing siddur. We did a whole class on it many years ago, but it's an amazing siddur. Again, you don't have to daven the whole. It'll take you hours. I mean, if you have hours, hey, go right ahead. So gesund. You don't have to have hours. Just pick one thing. Tomorrow, I'm gonna look at Baruch Shamar. For the whole week, just Baruch Shamar. I'm just gonna read the English while I say the Hebrew. And not just read it because, like, blessed are you, Lord, King of the. No, blessed. Who am I? That's another one. Who am I to bless him? We're begging him to bench us, and he says, no, you're so important. Give me a bracha. Like, me? Little itty bitty tiny me in relation to, like, Melech Malchei Amlachim, right? The King of Kings. And he wants us to bless him. He wants us to connect to him. Anyway.
I'm sorry, I'm on Zoom. I was here with
Yay! That was so great. That was so great. I love it. Okay, so I'm just closing, but so thing one is this siddur, amazing. Take one tefillah, focus on one tefillah for the week, just one line, one sentence, one something, and connect to it. Now, this, oops, that's backwards. This is a similar version, but is the Tzivos Hashem translation. So what I love about it is that they add more context to the tefillah. Here it's like a straight translation, literally line by like two words by two words, basically. This gives you the chassidus infused in it. It adds 3 more letters or 3 more words, and it just, whoa, like a great example. Oh no, I don't have the Shabbos one here. Whatever, for the Shabbos one, you know, Haderes v'Aimuna l'Chayei Lamim, right? Each one of them is like a praise. And if you just read it in English, it sounds like each one of them is a praise for Hashem. Now, Chassidus teaches us that it's actually Hashem is giving us the praise. Like, I don't have it here because I don't have, whatever, I don't have it. But this is the weekday one.
That's, oh, you're saying.
But I'm talking about the Shabbos, in the Shabbos tefillah. And just they have the Shabbos one for Tzivos Hashem Siddur also, but it basically, Hashem is like showering us in compliments. Can you imagine if you walk into class with a teacher that you like love and respect the most, and as you walk in, actually, you know what? I'll do an example. A big shout out and thank you to Hani for the incredible setup on the table. We're so grateful for all your hard work.
Oh, good one.
You walk in and the person that you love and care comes and showers you with a compliment. You just have like a different shine. You just feel different, and like you listen to that class so much better. You know, like you're like connected. And okay, fine. Let's say you're not the type to receive open compliments because you want. Oh, so then fine. The teacher writes you a personal letter and drops it off in your desk, and you feel good about it, right? Okay, there we go. I fixed it for everybody. Okay, introverts, extroverts, check. Point is, if somebody comes and turns and says these are compliments and you're so special and you're so wonderful, you just have a love for that person. And Hashem is literally showering us with compliments every single Shabbos. Like, and if you think, I guess it's a shame I don't have it in front of me, but if you look at the compliments, you're like, oh my goodness. Like, that's nice. And then you stand taller and you're like, I can do that. I can do that. Okay, I can be awesome like that. Right? Okay. Anyway, that I got from the Shabbos version of the Tzvi Hashem Siddur. So if you so desire, this is the same concept, a little heavier and bigger, but it has the chassidus in it already. And this is a whole other level, which I wanted to mention is amazing. But I generally only do it on Shabbos, or if I'm like really going through a struggle and I'm like, Hashem, send me something stronger. But here it's the tefillah on the top, the English translation, and segments on words based on chassidus. So it quotes a mimer, it quotes a silcha, it quotes all of the Rebbeim. It is absolutely incredible. Rafael had experience with this, making million copies out of the Siddur I did a Shabbaton for the married ladies, and we went through segments of, so that they could have what to think about during Shemona Esrei. So Rafael was a holy tzaddikus, and she helped up with that. Oh, there you go. And if you love colors, then you can also use an erasable pen and underline things, because for me, I know that when I underline something, it pops out. Like it feels like I'm doing an action with what I'm learning, and it just helps me connect and remember it better. And then when I go back to daven, oh right, like it just goes straight to the point instead of just seeing like one big mumbo jumble of a paragraph. Like there's a point. Anyway, so point is, there's lots to learn, whether it's small little segments, whether it's this book, there's my prayer, which is super heavy, so I just couldn't carry everything, but my prayer is also a beautiful book. On Shabbos, make an effort to learn something, one small thing, and try and share it with one person, so that way you know that you learned it in a way that actually stuck, that you can actually connect to it. Then, throughout the week, take a moment and think about that one thing you learned on Shabbos. If you have time, definitely learn something new, learn Hayom, learn something, listen to something, whatever it is. But if not, then at least you have something that you carried with you for the week from Shabbos. And during davening, take a moment to focus. Even if you mumble all the words after this or before this, take a moment to focus on one tefillah, one line, one section, one piece, and let that actually make an impact in your life. And you'll see that slowly but surely through this process, your davening is going to be alive. Not always are you going to have the time. As I said now, sometimes I only daven Shemona Esrei. Sometimes I daven more. Many times I get to, especially on Shabbos, I get to spend a little more time trying a little bit more. But give it an effort, give it a try, just one little bit every single day, and you're going to feel like, whoa. And you're going to feel the beauty of having and wearing and celebrating your incredible Hashem glasses throughout the day, so that when you face the world, you see it and you feel Hashem's loving embrace. So Chaim, thank you so much for everyone joining. And I mentioned at the beginning stories about everyone that we did our shir today for, and Hashem should bench all of our friends and dear ones to be reunited, and all of us to be reunited with our loved ones, and we should celebrate with Moshiach right now. Chaim.
There's a mom of many children, and she was saying that covering in that she was sharing that she was davening, and then worries were coming to her.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of trying to manage the worries, she just said Hashem, I'm davening to you. I'm worried about this. I need help with this. And instead of I need to go to the words of the davening, that's davening.
Mm-hmm.
That's davening itself, and it really the way she shared it, I feel like it's stuck with me. And so if I'm like really distracted by something while davening, I'll do that. I'll just take that, make that my center for that moment, and be like, Hashem, I need help with this. And then it's almost like I'm letting Hashem come meet me. Now I feel comfortable going to meet Hashem.
Oh,
Like now I can start looking at the words.
oh,
Because like I took that moment.
that is powerful. Do you mind if I reiterate it just for the recording? Someone shared a story about a mother who had many children that whenever she's davening and she's feeling worried, she takes that worry and she turns and she says, Hashem, like, this is what I'm worried about. Help me, right? Did I understand that correctly? And that becomes like a davening. I connected. That is so beautiful. I love that.
Yeah.
I connect that worry and I just pass it on to Hashem and let him take care of it. And that in of itself is davening. That is what it is, in essence.
She could go home after that.
That's incredible.
Right. She's good.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
Which actually reminds me of a piece that I forgot to add to my notes, but thank you for bringing this up. I'm pretty sure it's Perek Chaf Zayin. I'm pretty sure it's Chav Zayin or Chav Vav. That reminds us that just like if two people are struggling and one gives a nice big whack, Miriam, I think, spoke about it on Monday, but I just want to reiterate it here because it's very important. Two people are battling and one gives a big whack. Then the other person comes and is like, you whack me, and they get even more enthused and like pumped up and give an even bigger smack, right? And that's how the battle goes. So when it comes to davening, if you're in the middle of davening and you feel that I am having so many Yetzer right now, it's driving me crazy. I'm distracted, or I'm worried, or I'm stressed, or I'm upset, or I'm unhappy, or I'm not here. Like the words are flowing through my lips, but it's just I'm not connected. Take a moment and realize how absolutely incredible it is that I am instigating the Yetzer to be so strong. My davening is so good, and I'm doing so much that the Yetzer got a whack. And now the Yetzer is even coming stronger to come whack me. And so we can take that as a compliment. A distracted davening.
I just say I'm ADHD, but that's one better.
I love it.
Compliment.
Exactly. It shows how amazing you are doing that the Yetzer is getting all worried and stressed and annoyed that it has to work harder. So, l'chaim.